Hey, how's it going? It's Tim Brown, and I'm talking about why your website's not getting you leads. And there's some really blatant things that I see on a lot of websites. We look at websites, we do free audits. Drop yours below in this live if you want us to take a look at your site. We have a 20-point winning website formula checklist, and I'm also going to be having Michael Stearns join me during this live to talk through things that he sees that are holding back leads for, in particular, roofing websites. So drop your website below. If you're a roofer or other home service provider, I'm going to be talking a lot about roofing websites today. So the number one thing that I see that's holding back leads on roofing websites is lack of call to action. So I think a lot of us think the people coming to our website care a lot about our company. Of course, they want to work with us so that we do soft stuff, like we don't have a call to action button. A call to action ideally should finish this sentence. If I'm a customer, I want to get a free inspection. I want to, whatever that finish to the sentence is. The second big thing I think holds back leads on people's websites is lack of trust and trust factors like testimonials. I just put out something this week. I call it a trustimonial that I make all of our websites have. That it's not just a testimonial, right? A testimonial can barely even have a name on it, and a trustimonial has the photo of the person, 5 stars, the logo of where it was left. And I like to trim it down a little bit so it's like the top 3 sentences, or like a paragraph that really explains a core value proposition, and then the name of the person, the real name. And ideally the homeowner is smiling. So that's one trust factor. There's other trust factors. Basically, people don't trust your website when they come there, especially if they're strangers, or maybe you door knocked and then they go to your website. So things like badges, you got directory as a badge, a guarantee. You've got, God forbid, BBB. Comment below with how you feel about BBB. I know some of you guys hate BBB, but it does matter in the minds of homeowners. They actually understand and trust that. Things like your manufacturers. So logos of manufacturers. It's not going to sell it necessarily always, because no offense, homeowners, an average homeowner doesn't care about which manufacturer you use. But on the other hand, just having like an Owens Corning or the different, James Hardy certified, whatever, those things actually can subtly influence. It's not like you have to push it. It's just subtle persuasion, maybe even subconscious. So trust factors is a big one. Another one I see holding back leads on websites. I see people really just pretending like they are really important on their website. We are the #1 best roofer in whatever it happens to be. And I want to give you an alternative here. What if you talk about the homeowner? So I talk about this all the time, but I want people to know this. How could you start that headline with the word you? You want a 5-star roofer. You can put in city. You can talk about, you can have keywords and stuff in this, but talk about the homeowner, make the headlines about them. Feel like you're talking to them. I say people in the sales process don't do this because they're so good. They know they need to talk about the customer, but then when they get on their website, they do the exact opposite and they talk about themselves. So find a way to talk more about the customer, sell the benefits. So how does it feel? How does it change my life as a homeowner? Not the features, little details of the process that I think are cool as the company owner, as marketer, right? So those are things to think about. I am hoping that Michael does a request to join here in a second. He's going to talk about some things. Some other major things I think hold back websites that I think you can think about. A big one is lack of SEO, right? So when we look at the back end of a website, we can look at the SEO of a website with a tool called Ahrefs, ahrefs.com. It's pretty cool. Check it out. You can see what your competitors are doing. You can put their websites in there and see what things they're ranking for. We see major problems because they're not going up and to the right in their graphs, so that matters. And they're not creating content on a regular basis. And a big one is they don't have any links to their website. So those things really, basically that's the most common thing that's holding people back from getting leads on their website, because you actually need to get more traffic to this website. A lot of times it's not a problem of persuasion. It's really a problem of how many people are on this website, and there's not very many.
What
so yeah, the biggest problem is probably there's not enough people on your website. And it doesn't matter how many times you redesign it. You can redesign your website 10 times and it's not going to make more leads because there's no traffic. What's up, bro? Not much, dude. Talk to me about
what's going on,
I hope you saw some of this, some of the things I've already talked about, but Michael, what have you seen holds back leads besides, I think I said trust factors, lack of call to actions, and they're talking about themselves, not the customer, the three big ones. And then I talked a little bit about you need better SEO, because that's probably the biggest one, to be honest.
Need better SEO. Well, yeah, you got to get the traffic to the site, right, in order for the website to produce leads. And whether you're doing that through SEO, you're doing that through Google Ads, referral traffic, the traffic's got to be there in order for people to convert. Obviously, Tim, you guys do a great job talking about a myriad of different ways that people can get trust from the visitors of the website. One thing worth noting that I see consistently when we talk to folks about websites are sometimes there's a lot of content, but most times there's, and you want to write pretty exhaustive content about the different services that you offer. Because some people might want to do it when they're making, right? Whether it's a roof or anything that they're investing in. And even if they don't want to dive down that rabbit hole into thousands of words of content about it, Google will. The search engines crawl that content. And then to make it categorically placed where it makes sense and there's a flow in your website is really important. So what I recommend to people, whether they're building their own website or whether they have a marketing company handling their website, you want to create your website pages and compartmentalize them in a way that makes sense and have relevant content be autonomous. Yeah. So roof repair, roof replacement, roof inspection shouldn't be jumbled into one page, right? Give it its own page where they can find exactly what they need very easy, very seamlessly, because at the end of the day, Google cares about the user experience. The more people that enjoy their user experience, the more people come back to Google.
Yeah, once you
the more they can
out
charge you guys
Google
for your Google ads when you start running your
Google really is king when it comes to home services. They'll figure out a way to get your money. I mean, but first we got to get leads. We got to get some leads from Google, right? Like, that's a really good point. I mean, and part of it is, it doesn't have to, in my opinion, it doesn't have to be super SEO driven content. There just has to be a lot of content. And the keyword needs to be in there somewhat. You know what I mean? Like, if you're just starting, don't think about like SEO as this big, scary monster. Think about it like, I need to write more content. I need to give more information to the customer, and then I will benefit somewhat from Google.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's also like a hack for like somebody who wants to get benefit from just producing the content themselves, right? Which can be helpful, time intensive, but very helpful. Is think of it through like this lens. So if you're talking about roof repair, right? You may
Yeah.
want to talk about that as an alternative to not necessarily needing a replacement, right? And then when you mention replacement, what do you want to do? You want to
Yes.
link that, right? Create a hyperlink that sends them over to roof replacement. So you can start building some internal linking yourselves.
Yeah.
You don't need necessarily
Yes.
to hire myself, Hook, or
Yes.
anybody else, but you
Yes.
can do these
I
things
just want to like
organically
say like
yourself,
within the SEO
realize
community, it's
value.
become more popular of a theme, but like your internal linking a lot of times is what people think of the external linking as. Like, it's a big deal if you can do good internal linking on your website. That actually has a big difference. Like if you're regularly linking, and then like for instance, so we just had somebody who did a website with us and whose wife is doing the SEO, and I would encourage them. I would encourage her to basically make a Google sheet or an Excel spreadsheet of the top pages, that maybe like location landing pages and service pages. And essentially every time if they're writing a blog post, try to pepper in like 5 of those links to the other, to the pages that they want to boost. Because essentially that's one major benefit. I know that there's different thoughts on blogging and how important it is in SEO, but like from my point of view, if you can rank something serious, and it's, let's say it's a top of funnel post, like, do I need to replace flashings or something, you know what I mean? Like something like that. It's not very important. It doesn't seem like it's that important, but then if it ranks and there's a lot of people coming through, and then you're linking off to 5 service pages or location pages, you're essentially getting this love and you're sharing it to the important pages on your website, because that blog post might not be important for purchase, but it's important for traffic, which breathes life into the site sometimes to allow you to get more power to the other pages. What's up, Eric?
Yeah. Like, shout out to Kyle at Sol Vista Roofing in Denver, and I hope he sees this, because we talked about this early on when we started working together. He wrote a piece of blog content about swamp coolers on the roof. He just got a lead 2 days ago about a swamp cooler, right? And he's got several continuously, like month over month, because of the piece of blog content that he wrote. Now, some would say it's like not worth targeting, right? Because the keyword search volume, how many times people are searching for that keyword, is relatively low comparatively to replacement, inspection, storm damage. But again, if you can carve out that little niche, that's an ongoing debate that we're not going to have here. If you can carve that out to where even if it's searched 30 times and you can, I say niche, a lot of people say niche, whatever. But if you can get that search traffic from somebody who, it's very qualified, right? They know specific. If a homeowner knows what a swamp cooler is, they're likely looking to buy, right?
I'm just trying to get this in the background so we can tell a story of the time that Michael whooped my butt in front of a client of mine at RoofCon. I was at RoofCon and I was excited. Somebody asked me to play part of the basketball game, and I see Michael on the other side, and he apparently plays, but he's a little short, so I mean, like, I'm gonna beat this guy, right? Like, so I post up, and I'll be real, I got a lot of rebounds and I played pretty well, except you know what I didn't do? I didn't take enough shots. And we didn't take enough shots as a team. And so they whooped our butt, and this guy drained like 5 threes, and it was embarrassing. I got embarrassed in front of a client that I was trying to impress. And then afterwards, my client says to me, he's like, I thought you were going to be better. And I was like, he's like, because you're tall. I'm like, dude, don't judge me just because I'm tall. Don't prejudge me just because I'm tall, brother. So take the moral of the story is take more shots. Take more shots.
Shoot your shot. Yeah, and we talked about this on your podcast, and I preach this to a lot of people. It's like, don't be intimidated by creating content, whether it's video content or you're writing. A lot of guys have told me, like, I'm not a writer, I'm a roofer, and like, that's fair. That's like, I get it. But the talk to the dictation feature on your phone, to where it'll just transcribe it into written content. You guys go out and activities all the time. And when you're doing these activities like a roof inspection, or you're arguing with a snake farm adjuster, right? Like this is stuff that like people find very valuable, and you can leverage that and really help create a dynamic web presence for yourself just by of transcribing that content,
and the more specific
via
you get,
speech
I
into
think
a
like
blog
the
post,
major
doing a little
advantage
bit of
that somebody
linking.
doing their own SEO that you and I don't have, sometimes doing it as an outside company. So if you're doing it yourself, like you really can just get more specific with it. And it's scary because people don't want to do like this shingle versus that shingle. People don't want to do what's the best insurance company in my state. People don't want to do stuff like that. But if you are willing to get more specific, if you are willing to talk about things that like include brands and, you know, like granular details, honestly, those things are some of the best things for search engines. So yeah, utilize your intimate knowledge of the field. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Versus content, right? Asphalt versus metal, this versus that. We see that it performs very well. Ranking things, even if it's like, you know, top 8 projects, exterior projects this year. It's worth noting it doesn't always have to be specifically about roofing. Even if you're not looking to do siding, right? You can write content to that like adjacent industry and talk about it as a whole as part of the exteriors.
All right.
To get more exposure and traffic.
Anything else you can think of that is holding back leads right now? Because I'm guessing you look at a lot of random roofing websites and you're like, damn, if I could just change a few things, maybe this guy, like even if they don't become a client, sometimes I'm like, I wish I could just get on their website and change it because I want them to win. Is there anything like that where you see often that you wish you could change for some folks?
Do your best to make sure that you have a copious amount of branded pictures that are you, yourself, your team, right? Not the guy with the hammer. Like sometimes, you know, that if you don't have viable photos, whether it's you're handling your website or somebody else's, like you're going to be hamstrung to having to leverage stock assets, which is, you know, people sniff that out for the most part. If it's a stock asset. With regards to the call to action, big fan of like sticky headers, guys. So like when people are scrolling through your site, that call to action is probably front and top as soon as they see that trust or really
I
for
think
them, they can just
take a
click the
look at
call
your
right at the
mobile
top of the
site
screen.
too, you know, like just get on your phone, take a look at it. I know that it's more popular now to make it okay, but what about making it like excellent? You know, like if there's anything you can do to like make it real easy. I like to think of like a customer is just an eyeball and a thumb who's driving. You know what I mean? Like, how could it be really easy for them to call? How could it be really easy for them to hit the menu, do the important things on the website? Maybe they don't need to be able to access every single page. Maybe you could trim it down to like the 10 most important things or something on mobile. But, you know, making sure everything's accessible, just not prominent. So I want to throw out here, one, you can throw in the comments. Now I know people will be watching this later. You can throw in the comments your website URL, and somebody from the Hook Agency team will look at your URL and do a 10-minute audit for your website, telling you everything that we would improve. There's really no obligation. Like, I'm not assuming that all these people are going to turn into customers. It's okay. We want to be useful to you. We want to give you a 10-minute video that will describe what we would do differently to get more leads, and to survive and thrive. So I just put out this video on YouTube. So if you I'm going to put it in the comments here in a second, but it's the story of Graham Desert, who was the owner of Roofing 101, who went through a bankruptcy. And he tells the story of that bankruptcy and what he would do, what he would have done different or would do different, and how he went through that and what the whole process looked like. So if you guys are curious, trying to survive and thrive and avoid that kind of situation, Sometimes you just learn from failure more than you learn from success. So he had a lot of painful lessons during that period that I think might be useful to folks, even if they are going to win, just to like, one big one was just around layering on a leadership team a little early and how to kind of think of that, maybe to do it organically and naturally out of your team, not to do it early. So yeah, check out that YouTube video. It's youtube.com/Hook Agency. Michael, tell them about, they're still watching. Tell them about one industry, because you're going to, and some things that you're speaking soon. So on a couple things. So tell them about the stuff that you're doing soon and stuff that we're doing soon together, speaking.
Yeah, this is it's actually a good time to talk about it, I guess, because
the sales process don't do this because they're so good. They know they.
Tim. Okay, so one of the things that we'll be touching on is aligning with competitors in your market and what the benefit of doing that is. And it makes a lot of sense on this call, as you guys probably know at this point, Tim is a competitor of mine, but there's a lot of value that we get from one another in kind of aligning, discussing things that are going on within digital marketing. So it's a really good thing to do. We've got a segment that we're going to be talking about called Pitching at Scale, which I'm super excited about. And then we've got a referral program on steroids, right? Like a branded referral program that I think that everybody should leverage. It's probably the most underutilized aspect of referrals generation in general. So those are three things that I'm going to touch on.
So
there.
tell them the date.
One more thing that I want to talk about with
Charlotte,
regards to the
right?
websites
Charlotte,
and leads.
North Carolina, and that's in a week or in 2 weeks.
Yes.
It's on a Tuesday and Thursday in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's like the 13th and 14th
Give me 1 second.
September. So just kind of and we'll be back and forth. We're going to be doing this talk about free ways to get leads.
Yeah.
And yeah, sorry, keep going.
No, it's good. Yeah, ultimately that's the point of value, is how can you do what you're doing and do more things to get free leads, which everybody loves free, and we want to help facilitate that outcome. With regards to the leads on your website, something that's worth noting is you have a contact form, and your objective is to get somebody to fill that contact form out. So keep in mind how many fields you have, how much you're requiring that person to input, and how that are required, because the more that you're requiring from somebody as far as fields to select, the more that you're requiring them to submit, the less likely they convert. And I'm not don't have required fields, so don't pull that as the message away from this, but just be cognizant of, okay, the more things that I demand and make necessary in order for them to submit this, the less likely they are going to actually submit this form. And forms are a big deal, especially with the younger demographic being more antisocial and not wanting to pick up that phone. Behavior on a text, they want to
that's
submit
a really
these
good
forms.
point, man. I just
think
something
about
worth noting. You and I have a little bit. Some of these dudes are older, and I know that a lot of your clients, probably like mine, are like our age. So, how old are you, Mike? So I'm 36. I got a lot of people. Some of the roofers
34.
I'm talking to now are like 26, dude, and literally, my guy just went to 2 million in this first 6 months. He's 26 or something like that. He's very young. But there's a lot of little bit older guys too in this space, and I think we have a little bit of a unique insight for them on just what the purchasing preferences are. And it's just low touch. We actually don't want to have 3 consultations with a home service provider. We actually do want to we might be those guys that, and definitely the people 5 years younger than us might be those guys or those gals that will purchase off of the internet without much conversation. This is happening. There's a transition towards, I want lower touch. So that form thing goes to it, but tools, I know you build up calculators. We build out some calculators. There's things like Roofle coming. There's things like Roofer that has, a quick quote tool. We're experimenting with these things and learning from them at scale to the point where we're going to have probably the next 6 months I'm guessing you will too, some strong opinions about whether to push ads to those or whether to make sure they're going to the forum. Right now, I believe that having them on your website can decrease tire kickers, but potentially you want a form as your main call to action. That's my current take. I don't know if you've got a take on that.
I do. I mean, we see tremendous success with leveraging the instant quote calculator for lead gen as it relates, especially to Google Ads.
Yeah.
You know, you got they're searching for what is the cost, right? They want to know the cost, and sometimes you're getting the tire kickers out of the way. I've got quite a few clients who've been very successful with converting those because, you know, with a calculator, you're essentially you're putting in conditional logic, which means you're setting the price per square, right? So if you set it really low to get your guys in front of as many people as possible, definitely recommend doing that in the store market. By all means, like, do that. If you want to set the bar really high to make sure that you're not spending 2 hours, you know, presenting to a lead never to buy from you, right? Save that 2 hours and invest.
So we're getting
or something
out on like 3 sites in the next couple of weeks, and we'll be A/B testing Google Ads to it and stuff like that. So we'll see how that one plays out. And I'm rooting everybody on. You know what I mean? All these tools for making it easier to purchase a roof. We're going to be pretty quick to start suggesting stuff if it wins. There's a lot of work and effort that went into some of these tools that are, you know, it's kind of crazy how much time and effort they put into them. So hoping some of them pan out. Anything else you want to leave the audience with? Definitely feel free to leave your .com and anything else you want to talk about.
Yeah, the website's www.ascenddigitalexperts.com. You can find us on YouTube at Ascend Digital Agency. Created a bunch of content there, and we'll continue to do so just as a free resource for contractors in general to have a better understanding of different intimate aspects of marketing and what they can do themselves, what to look out for, how to vet agencies, things like that. So,
hey, we know.
Please join,
if you
subscribe.
Roofers. Matt Danskin's on here. Reg Reader does social for roofers. Matt Danskin has restoration referral system. I like to shout people out so that they want to come back in here. That's a little like help. But these guys, if you serve roofers, I'm just gonna say before we jumped on this call, Mike and I were talking about there's lower leads for people serving roofers during this time, during September, October, and towards the end of the year sometimes. And then in my experience, it goes up, you know, into December, January, February, March, and in my experience. So if you, I'm just kind of giving some insight to the other people serving roofers. It's okay. Don't think that there's so many good things going on for Michael and his brand Ascend. Check them out. They're freaking awesome. I really have an abundance mentality here. And Hook, like we know we have so much better. We have so many cool things going into the season. So it's not like the economy I'm not saying that there's not something there, but like, it's not like at the end of the world if you have lower leads during the season. I don't know why I feel compelled to share that, because I think sometimes, you know, we don't talk enough. And like Michael said, we're about to like do a talk on that, which will be a good talk in Charlotte. So if you serve roofers, come out there too. Come out to Charlotte, and if you are a roofer on the East Coast, please consider joining us for One Industry, One Model in a few weeks. It's going to be a good time. There's so many good speakers, and Michael and I are just going to be having fun. We're going to be having fun. We're going to be making content. It's going to be a good time. That's all. That's literally my focus on this Charlotte event, is a good time. So we're going to have a good time. We're going to create a bunch of shit, and I hope you guys. I see you guys there. Mike, thank you for spending a little bit of your morning with me. Thank you for your generosity. And once again, if you guys drop your URL in the comments, you will get, in the next few weeks, you will get a winning website audit with a 20-point list from somebody on the Hook Agency team that does this all day, every day. Yes, appreciate you. Bye.